I just gotta add that to the stage. There we go. Yeah. Oh shoot, my camera's messed up. All right, I will not bring up the camera. I will just go through this. Okay. So first things first, I will be looking at. Well, I guess first of all, welcome everybody, and then first things first, I will be looking at the GoFundMe's. There is Brian Mansell's is still going along. I wonder when the last donation it says recent donation. I don't know what recent means in that context. And let's see the one for Sheldon. All right. So Sheldon's is still growing. He said he did cut the check in a live stream today. That this is on its way to the civil rights lawyer that is running a case, which is Solomon something. I still wonder if Solomon is how often in his cases he says split the baby. I think that would be a little bit funny. We know in this case that was a joke that was used in a lawsuit, so it would be kind of telling or kind of fitting to make that joke. Okay, and then the last one that we typically look at is the Give Send Go. And I think that one's actually where it was when we looked at it the other day. I don't, yeah, one day ago. So this has got a little bit more. So the Legal Defense Fund for Reckless Ben is still out there on Give Send Go. I have that in the description. And I really hope I know that the Justice for Sheldon and Friends, which is the one where they are going to use for a civil suit against the American Fork Police Department. I know that one is had some upfront costs, and that's why they had an amount to raise that or to raise for that. There's actually been a little bit of more news on that front in general, where there's another civil rights case that had hit the American Fork Police Department. I did post about that, and it was someone who was accused of running. I mean, it's a family-friendly stream, so I won't say what it was. But running a bad massage parlor, and it turns out it was all racism, and it didn't happen. And their evidence was, well, he picked up his wife from work, and they're like, but that's not his wife. And it's actually pretty crazy. I did read a little bit more on one article, and it seems like there's a lot of wild accusations in the police report, and it's really hard to tell which ones are based on fact and which ones aren't. But they dropped the charges against everybody, and some of the details there are like shocking. Like they accused him of not actually being married, but they have like a marriage certificate. Like they didn't even look into that. So it's just wild. So there is another case that hasn't really been talked about. So anyway, it's just crazy the amount of shenanigans that the American Fork Police Department are accused of in all these lawsuits. There was a city council meeting that happened last night, and an unexpected person got up for public comment and said that he didn't think, because Officer Kitchen was involved in two cases. One of them being one of the cases that's been brought, and the other one that we know about the guy who was pulled over in the HOV lane, but he wasn't actually in the HOV lane; he was in an exit, and that whole debacle, which I've commented on. He wasn't the driver wasn't nice, but also he knew that what happened was BS, so that's why he wasn't nice. But anyway, yeah, it's just so much shenanigans. So this one is for Tyler, Steven, Sierra, Sheldon to to pursue their case. It's not related to any potential thing that Reckless Ben might bring. And there has been some confusion because Reckless Ben probably will not even worry about a civil case until all the criminal cases are resolved. And that it would be kind of a bad idea, as everybody's really said, for him to do that. But they don't have any reason to wait. As far as the commentary, the law tuber commentary has been. So it seems like they're going forward with their case. And it is really unfortunate to see these city council meetings just dismiss the concerns, because what sucks is their taxes go up when this stuff happens. And I don't feel like a police chief that sees all this happen and doesn't resign. I don't feel like he's a leader. I think he's a follower who's waiting for someone else to take the lead. And that's unfortunate. And the city doesn't deserve that. A bunch of stuff like this happens. It all leads to civil rights complaints and cases. And the leader doesn't either take decisive action or step down himself and take responsibility. That's not a leader. That's a follower, in my opinion. So unfortunate, but this is how people have been able to help with the true crime part of this is very compelling to people. This is how people have been able to help. All right, so we got that all documented. I'm going to go over updates really quick and then do what I want to. I want to document something. So let me go ahead and just scroll through these. It's been a few days and a lot has happened. I'm not going to devote a lot of time to these updates. There are a lot of updates, and one thing that's happened is a lot of people have been commenting on these updates, and they've all brought really important perspectives. But it's been such a flurry of things that it's hard to keep up with them. So a good summary of the most recent item is from the barbecue counselor, but I am going to go over a different post to describe it. Specifically this one. So I probably maybe I won't show that too much, but the BAM map put out. I don't have to go through the post for this. I can do this. The BAM map put out an update, but I want to tell this story in order. So on the 26th, the satire site Legally Mime put out a statement that they are sending a formal notice to the BAM map about impending silence protocol. So this is a fake, humorous takedown notice, and this was sent on the 26th as a joke. And I don't think it was actually sent. I think it was. I think it was just this post was the joke. I don't think they actually. The person who does Legally Mime, I don't think he actually reached out to the people who do the BAM map. I think he did this as a joke. And then a couple days later, you get this. And let's see, we go here, and then I'm just going to click in because I don't want to ruin what actually happened. So the BAM map responded yesterday, and I guess they updated it today, to talk about the spurious claims and how like BAM 404 doesn't exist, and it's funny. It almost takes it seriously, but then it's just a joke. So the BAM map responded to the joke, right? And this happened yesterday. And another thing that's happened is there's a translate button for a specific BJC live show. Asked about the wording to see if there's a better way to read it during streams. And as a joke, they made a translate button that turns everything into the BJC translation. I actually didn't know this. I think I was told about this. I think I saw this in a chat. I think somebody pointed it out to me, and I forgot or didn't know that it existed. This is really funny. It's every article. You can click on that, and you'll get a streamer-friendly version, which is really funny. And it just kind of gives you the lowdown. But they like checked the jokes anyway. We took the firm's method seriously. So that happened. This parody site put out a fake takedown, and then guess what happened next? An actual cease and desist letter was sent, and this happened yesterday at like 7 p.m. Eastern. It was like 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And this actually happened. The letter was sent while things were being updated. The band map was updating some stuff and communicating about operation manual changes. So the fact that stuff was happening, things about the Eugene sale, the videos about a U-Haul, at a later date, all of this stuff was being updated, and apparently this cease and desist would have already have been received. We just didn't get the update until basically nobody saw it till today. So it's just wild that they responded to a fake cease and desist and then received a real cease and desist. And my commentary on this, I don't want to do too much commentary, but my commentary on this is that this story could have died down. I know there's updates here. The U-Haul was a year later, and it's got some pieces to it that are interesting, but it wasn't going to reignite the story. The Eugene sales information, which is kind of about trying to identify some odd things that were for sale at the Eugene store, which was owned by BB. It's trying to just ask the question, are these related? Because this is an unusual sale. There's actually an older post about that where some sets that are suspicious and came in a very suspicious way and might be traceable if somebody could get to the store documentation. They came in and went for sale, and it's unusual. So it's just trying to tie these together. But these were not these giant bombshell stories. Now you gotta be careful. Don't say bombshell because they're gonna misinterpret it. These giant newsflash stories that were going to reignite the thing. What's going to reignite the story? A cease and desist letter. It was like nobody was talking about them, and they had to make everybody talk about them again. It's absolutely wild. So I have really three reactions to this. One, they saw a joke takedown and sent their own. I don't know if they saw it, but they had to have been looking at this website to send the takedown because it references things on the website. They were just like, life hasn't imitated art enough lately. Let's make it do that. It's just wild. It's just absolutely wild that they imitated the fake cease and desist letter. So they sent this one, and my second reaction to this, I've told this out of order to folks today, but my second reaction to this is when you first watch, or when I first watched, I don't want to project that, but when I first watched the Reckless Ben videos, it felt like I was doing something wrong by watching them. That's just the sense, and it might be his style of editing, but every video he put out and some of the updates that have come along the way makes you feel like just being an observer means that you're going to get in trouble even though you really shouldn't, because he's getting in trouble even though he really shouldn't. Like being like when he released the raw footage with the manager, with Amanda, he shouldn't have been told to leave. He had business to be there. Like that was not appropriate. And people, even though it's very easy to say Reckless Ben was a jerk and he should have left sooner, he also shouldn't have been told to leave. And he had a legitimate reason to be there, and they shouldn't trick him to go somewhere if he's going to be told that he's not allowed to be there. Like, so this whole thing of like, it's kind of like that moment. Let's just say, I think the best thing I can think of is like being at school and you get accused of something you didn't do and you realize they're serious. Like that's the feeling that I got going through this. And this is another one where it just renews that feeling of like, you're getting, I feel like I'm getting secondhand worry, out of this whole thing. And it's been from the beginning. Somebody who keeps getting in trouble for something they shouldn't get in trouble for, and it feels like just watching it, you'll get in trouble. I guess another one I could mention is there there were a couple video or documentaries that were pretty like kind of game changing that came out about North Korea. And one of them is somebody who was going to North Korea to perform cataract surgery, just to help people, just as a charity thing. And while he was there, he started to notice this really crazy world that he didn't expect. And so it kind of became a secret news report, where they got to film things they wouldn't normally get to film. And so he basically allowed the people around him to build this documentary out of his charity work. And they got to see, what North Korea was like. And actually, pretty soon afterwards, Kim Jong Un had passed away, and then Kim Jong Il passed away, and Kim Jong Un took over. And so it was kind of a weird thing in time. There's also the documentary where is his name Michael Palin, the guy from Monty Python. I think it's Michael Palin. Went to North Korea, and he was just allowed to go in and just chat with people, and it was just another weird thing where you got to see behind the veil. And both, when you watch both of those, you feel like you're in trouble the whole time you're watching those documentaries. And this, you get the sense here, this is something, so it's my second reaction is that renewed that sense. And then the third part here is what is concluded here of, you would expect that if there's these leaked documents, which is what this is about, that they would say those are false and you are bringing us in a bad light, take them down because they're false. And they don't say that. They say, you've got copyrighted material, take them down. Like, what's inferred from this is that it's confirmed. So I'm still not 100% convinced that this takedown is 100% legit, that this could be someone spoofing. So I think there's maybe like a 0.5% chance that somebody's spoofing this. And I personally would check the headers. I would always do that, just to see if I can confirm how legit this is. So I think they should check the email headers to confirm. But it seems 99.5% legit that this came from them, and it was telling them to take down these copyrighted materials. And now I've seen the good commentary back and forth of like, is the responses to this accurate or the right thing to say or to do or everything. I've seen the commentary, and there's a lot of good stuff back and forth from different people. I think actually BJC really broke this story, even though BAM had the update up. People found out because BJC Live Show was doing a stream about something else, and this came up first. And when I say something else, it's the same story, but this specific thing that happened to the BAM map was pretty much broken in our show. And then other people were covering it almost immediately afterward. LUS had a stream where he covered it, and then other people made videos. I think some of those videos possibly came out before LUS's stream. I didn't really pay attention to the timeline, but more videos have been coming, and everybody's had these different perspectives. And I think all of that is important. So somebody, if you want to watch through more than one of them, it's good because you get more perspectives. So lots of perspectives are good on this. But what's just, I don't know, just what sticks out from this is it appears that this is also not just from the standpoint of like, hey, look at us. You haven't been, the masses haven't been paying attention for a while. Let's give them another reason to look this way. But also it appears to be confirmation that that the leaked documents were real. When it would be easy to invalidate everything said, even if you're lying, to say, all of that is a spurious claim that's laughable at its face, and, include that dialogue, and then also say, but it's defaming, it's defamatory, or it could contain copyright information, so take down. Like, you would expect that would have been the response, but it feels like, and what's concluded here is, or inferred here, is that it confirms that it was legit. So whatever. This is not what I wanted to document, by the way. I did check, and some of this information is archived. So there is like, archive of stuff. So there's an ability to go back for what's newsworthy. But that's not what I personally wanted to archive. This is the big news today. I wanted to make sure I covered this and gave that I just wanted to point out how silly it is that there was a joke and then joke became reality. I don't know how else to describe that. So just a quick, okay. So then the last part of that. So Sheldon also did a stream on it. He was actually going to stream about something else, which I guess has been the theme today. And this was hilarious. He just did this lead in, and this was really funny. So a bunch of people jumped in, and he covered some other topics, but I think he nailed it with that. Because it's just doing nothing. I think would have been better, but also the suggestions I had would have been better, of calling them defamatory, spurious claims, but then demanding they get taken down. Like that would have been the right answer. It still would have brought negative press, but they're still at a point of all press is good press, because people who don't know who they are learning who they are. So I don't know. There was a small update to the civil case where so Belmont was the third party intervener who a while ago said that he no longer needed to intervene because the gag order was gone, and so basically that's official now. His intervention, with a note here that he had said he wanted to he didn't need to intervene, so it was denied. So he couldn't. He's not an intervener. So nothing big, but that came through. I actually kind of thought we'd get another update, because it seemed like maybe the judge was revisiting and going through some things. So I thought maybe we would get a response from the judge about the update for who is a member of Reckless Ben LLC. That was like the question that's been lingering. They did respond in time, and I just kind of thought we would get an update on that today, and I don't think we did. So that when I get these, the way I get these, somebody else has to go in and actually update it, and then it becomes public information. So nobody has gone in to check if there's been an update, or there has been not been an update about the I guess it's called the corporate disclosure statement. Is that response? There was something I noticed. There was also a leaked study. I don't know if it was or was not public information, but it seems like, I don't know if this is true or not. That's why I'm asking, because I don't actually know. It's very rare that I do this, but it's fun on Twitter to like just ask a question and not expect to be the smartest person in the room. It's a good way to start a conversation. So I don't think it worked, but I was trying to start conversation, because I don't know if this is true, but it sounds like they paid for a survey, and part of the results of the survey was that Star Wars is the most popular brand, I guess, for retired sets specifically, and that they should advertise it more. But now they get trolled if they advertise Star Wars sets. So did they, in the past, pay for a study that told them this is how you should advertise, and now it's difficult for them to advertise that way? That's kind of a funny situation. I know it's unfortunate for the company, but if Cracker Barrel did this and it was funny, they made it so their audience hated their advertising. Like, that was a funny situation. And it was even more funny when Steak and Shake got involved, even though you can make a very strong argument that Steak and Shake getting involved was very shady. It's still funny that they got trolled. Same thing that's happening with Sony right now. Sony can't advertise a game because I did that today. I made fun of them for not having physical product. People are making fun of them. So they made their primary advertisement line a joke. Sony did it. Cracker Barrel did it. Currently, BAM did it. Let's see. I think I covered most of what's going to come out today. There was a big, important live stream that happened. There's more. There's more memes coming out, and those will continue. I keep posting those, but I'm not going to go through those. And Sheldon was going to do this reaction video, but he decided against it. So that was the change of format. I mentioned the American Fork City Council. I just want to mention real quick. So this is the guy that was talking about this Officer Kitchen. He was involved in two strange issues. That one of them, I believe, one of them led to a lawsuit and the other one did not. I don't think that the other one led to a lawsuit, or but I don't know if it will be brought, but I know that he apologized. So what was brought up is that he's a school resource officer, but this guy who identifies himself as a teacher, I think at the middle school, um, mentions that kids are learning from him. And I think there's been some confusion on whether he actually teaches classes or not. I would assume he doesn't if he's a school resource officer. But I think what the main concern here is, I guess I will add a little commentary here because I think this is an important distinction, because occasionally we run into these where it feels like something is missing and it probably should be said. So what the guy who comes up here to say is basically, if this guy is prone to trouble, and I think he may even say prone to violence, because the whole thing about threatening to break the window, but he says something about like prone to trouble. Um, he's like, should he be teaching kids, or should he be, in this position? Where the commentary I think that's important is, I think that they're viewing school resource officer as a demotion. Like, we wanted to send him back to, traffic duty, but this is where he ended up. Like, I think that was the intention, is that he got the crappy assignment. And so that is punishment. But he makes a good point that is that also punishment for the kids? And that's a good point. If you had a corrupt officer, let's just say that the issue was corruption, you wouldn't want him to go to school. Or let's say the issue was, lying, because there's people talk about, officers that like lie in court and now they're unreliable witnesses. If his issue is he's a liar and you decided to demote him, would that be a good person to put in school? And so I don't know. I don't know if it is if it is as strong of an argument. It's a legitimate argument, but is it as strong of an argument if that demotion, is that a demotion? I don't know. Is it? And if that's the case, is this a strong argument? But that guy brought up some good points. And then I think this guy's name is Daniel. He was back, and he basically was saying that he hasn't heard anything back. I don't know if him or the other fellow ever got the private meetings that they talked about in the previous council meeting. Based on the way he was talking, it sounded like they did not, or at least he did not. I don't know if we got a result from that. And I will try to get through these a bit further. It's been kind of taking the world by storm that there was a tattle and a tale, and it was a Zelda reference. I didn't realize that was the reference, but that's what the birds were from the Kaiser store. I won't go into the Afro-Man thing. People have just been like, "Hey, Afro-Man, help!" And so I thought that was an interesting update. So there was an update last night. There was a ton of stuff in the live stream last night. One of them was about this, quote, third U-Haul. And really the big story here is there were some videos where they appear to capture BB on the video talking about renting a U-Haul. And it appears to be, and I don't know the answer to this, it appears to be after Reckless Ben's Part 1 events have started. And there is a comment, something about him going around to like show support or calm down employees or something like that. So BB's part of the explanation there is something about coming to visit the stores. But there is a U-Haul, and there's some questions about what it was used for and where it was going. And he does talk about it in the video. But DFJ had put together a video kind of putting together in context. And so that was helpful. They were on the BAM map, and other people had covered them. There's a bunch of other updates. I'm not going to go into detail on those. Another meme. There's another thing I found out yesterday. So Aussie Insider, who I guess I didn't realize was streaming this stuff, and the other thing I didn't realize was that when I was talking to her about a completely different thread on Twitter, I didn't realize like she was the video expert that I was going to mention, and I was like, this post is already long enough. I'll just erase that section. which is funny. Sometimes I will type a whole bunch of stuff out and I'm like, this is so repetitive. Let me just delete it. That was one of those cases of like, I only really reviewed pictures. I would need an expert to look at video. That's what I was about to type out. And I was like, oh, no, I won't bother talking about that. What I didn't know is she had done a stream where she did some expert analysis of some video. And I have some knowledge. And my joke I made was that my knowledge of video metadata is limited to the number of times I've automated FFmpeg to export some videos. So, yeah, I didn't realize that, but the stream I got to watch was awesome. It had so much information, and from the tech side, I was just engaged. I don't know how many people are going to get useful information out of it from like all of the little details, but from the broad details, there's tons of information, especially about like things to watch out for. One of the things that really caught my attention was another case where it seems like all of the exculpatory videos have suspicious activity and the non-exculpatory videos don't have the suspicious activity. So would you challenge the videos? Would you bring it up that these were tampered with if they get thrown out and now all your exculpatory evidence is gone? That was an interesting point. I don't know if that was the main point that was being made, but that's what I got out of it. So anyway, she had a stream that was really cool. So I had put a link there, and I didn't when I first saw it, I didn't understand what fails audit meant, but it was auditing the police camera footage and some of the oddities that are found there and how to prove those, which goes way deep into the metadata, like even for images, which I know a little bit about. There was even more, went even further than I'm used to, which is like, there's a thing called mime type, and I have made this joke about legally mime. And generally, you just trust the mime type, but you can't on the server level. You can't say somebody sent me a JPEG, but I guarantee it's not really a zip file. And the only way to really do that is to read into some of the header data or into some of the actual data and be like, okay, does it have these markers? If it doesn't have these markers, then it's not what it says that it is. And so then it's somebody who's trying to cheat. What does cheating mean? Well, they might be uploading a JavaScript file, or they might be uploading an executable or some kind of zip file or something, and they have another method of remote execution. Because that's the risk, is somebody uploading something that looks like a JPEG. They're promising it's a JPEG, but in reality, later they're going to use some privileged account on that server, or attempt to use some privileged account on the server to run it and then gain the next step of access. Hackers don't get in all at once. They get in a little bit at a time. Sometimes they do get in all at once, but it's very rare. They usually get in a little bit at a time, and it's through methods like that. They upload something, it's tampered with, they somehow run it. That opens access to the next piece, which then they can run more arbitrary code, which gives them access to the next piece. And then at that point, they get a buffer overflow thing, which gives them access to anything. And then maybe they use that to gain additional access. So it's all about those little stepping stones. So you got to be careful. So what I know about some of this is just from the standpoint of I could potentially identify some of those markers, but I don't. I've never gone into detail in any of that. But it's to me, it's just, this whole thing was super fascinating because there's other like comments of markers about things that have been exported and things about frame rates that I didn't know. A lot of frame rates are 29.9 or 29.96, whatever that default is. It's not 30 FPS. It's just below that. And I don't think frame rates was the point, but that's what I was like, well, the frame rate's recorded. Why couldn't you do time from a frame rate? And it was interesting because it actually had to do with like where it builds the keyframes. It was just fascinating to me. So anyway, if you're technically minded, it's worth looking at. BAM Files Part 3 came out. I have to say, it's, if you haven't heard a lot of that data, then it's very informative, and there were some really cool pieces of information, but it wasn't the explosive report that people were expecting. And I didn't want to downplay it, but that's kind of how, like, the live stream later was huge, but the actual BAM Files Part 3 was not the kind of big reporting that we were expecting. It's actually Part 4 that we're thinking is going to be huge, because there's information about some I don't want to call it leaked, because I don't think it's leaked information. There's basically just some communication information that has been teased. that we think is going to be pretty important. And so, but anyway, the live stream was huge. The actual part 3 was a lot of information that's been either talked about or hinted at already. So it wasn't anything huge and shocking. But it is moving, and this is what I was talking about before. Like, it is moving the story along, but it's not the kind of thing like a cease and desist letter moves the story. This is not. This wasn't as big as the Streisand effect. But it is moving, and it is great stuff, and it is awesome that they're moving along, because there was a comment in the live stream about like, we're your worst nightmare, and I actually kind of cringed because I didn't want them to say that. I don't want them to be antagonistic, but it was like that. Like, they're it's like, it feels like they're Luke Skywalker stumbling into this rebel alliance. And meanwhile, the Empire thinks they're right the whole time. Like, they believe they're doing the right thing. I mean, it is a movie, and it does a whole lot of like, the lightsaber is red and the cloak is black because he's the bad guy. But they wouldn't be doing what they were doing if they knew they were wrong. So anyway, and I was excited. That's why I put this out there. Let's see. Yeah, there's been a lot of updates. The joke I've made is a lot of updates in the Reckless Ben story are, well, I mean, the Reckless Ben videos themselves generate a lot of interest, but a lot of the updates in between the Reckless Ben content directly are people catching up with the BAM map. That's actually a little funny. I like to use that as a joke. But some of these things are bringing those pieces together. There's actually a lot of connections that are made that are already on the story web, or the web. I don't mean like the internet. I don't know how to say this. On the BAM Maps web. I don't show it often because I like to have a better idea of like what's on the screen, and I don't want to show things like, I don't want to go to people's LinkedIn. I know people do it. I just personally don't. So I don't want to like show this and then it's got LinkedIn information. But this web here, the map, a lot of times people will bring something up and it's already on here, and the document that they're looking for is already on here. So a lot of times a new revelation is something that's already been connected. It's just a different angle to the story. And so there's a bunch of connections here. But what happens is a lot of times the story was already reported there. It's just now it's being talked about. A speaker, a voice box has gotten a hold of it. Let's see. I think we're pretty much back to this is what I was talking about earlier about the other civil rights case that nobody's talking about. Where what's big to this one, and what really brought this up in I can't remember the commentary I found out about it on, but it was brought up somewhere of like, hey, this is the one nobody's talking about, and it like had police reports with fake information, and like, isn't that huge? Shouldn't that be? Oh, it was from this Reddit post. This is could it be one of those? Oh no! Holy, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. What's this one? Oh, this is the. Hold on, let me. This is the fake account. Hold on. When I saw fake, I was like, the fake police report. No, this is the fake YouTube account. Hold on. Yes, I'm not even gonna worry about that. I report the fake YouTube account. Okay, this is the fake. I thought I made the joke about 100% fake on here. Oh well. Now I feel like an idiot because it's like, right, that's the account. I should have just noticed it. Okay, so maybe I saw this on Reddit. I don't know where this came from. But basically, yeah, there was commentary about how this guy's name's Ferrari. This guy was accused of bad things, and his wife and his massage parlor are accused of bad things. And it seems like the police report has like, it's characterized as like made up information. So it seems like that was the thing. All the charges ended up being dropped, and this is the civil rights case. It's not really being talked about. A lot of people have been talking about the Kaiser Police video. Victor and Ben did a video on that. This has been covered so many times. I'm not going to go into detail. I think everybody knows it. Yeah, Bam Part 3, some more memes. Oh, so Total a full. I had a really funny in what's it called, thumbnail. I thought that was really funny. I appreciate the pun. Okay, I think we're basically back to the start here. There is the video from Barbecue Counselor going over a history of legal things involving the CEO. America's Attorney put out a video about like the leaked body cam from Orem, and it seems like he's got a ton of subscribers, and it seems like he doesn't really follow the latest, and so some of this is like rehash, and so but it is a good video, and it does characterize things I think a way a lot of people did not, because most people, like myself included, was like, well, at least this officer did certain things, like told the body cam or set into the body cam while he was turning it off. Like we were seeing things we were hoping to see in other videos. So it's easy to be like, oh, I hope this, this guy did way better than the other cops, but he points out a bunch of issues with it. And picking a side is like, is one of the points that he makes. And he goes into some detail on that. And then I think everything else, I think I generally covered. The only thing I didn't really cover was that there was, so Echo Base Network had done a video about a bunch of, I don't know what to call it, because a lot of it was Facebook videos, but a lot of videos of the collection during the time that the Gormans had the store, and then around the time of the transition, including the pictures that were taken, and then supposedly one of the videos that was taken after. And one of the reasons it's easy to say that was probably taken after is because there's a Christmas tree and the sets appear to be there. So they put a lot of that together. Well, that's actually where, and I'm going to stop here because that's where I got this. Well, we need to do this thing. So I don't know how well this is going to go, but I'm going to try it. So those are Facebook videos. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that Facebook page. Let me find it. Because there's actually like a surprising thing here I did not expect to see. This Facebook page hasn't been updated since October 2024. So that, there's nothing new since then. So I thought the best thing I could really do about this, and I think if I expand this a bit, it'll help out a little with some of the larger posts, because there are some very long posts here. So the best thing I can do is go through and play all of the videos on here, so they are backed up somewhere. If this account goes down, then we potentially lose its history. And you can't exactly archive a Facebook account. You can export it, but I think it's important to play through the videos. And I know some of them exist elsewhere and the important ones exist elsewhere, but you know what doesn't exist elsewhere? The number of people that liked everything and what they liked. I thought that would be an important thing. And one of the things you'll notice is there's a ton of angry responses, a ton of them. And I don't really want to capture those. What I really want to do is see who liked and who hearted stuff. And you're going to see some stuff that's a little bit sad as we go through this, because there's going to be a lot of very positive things that are now negative, I guess is the best way to say it. So the other thing I don't really get is I don't know why things get double posted. I think it's a Facebook thing. Potentially they went to two different groups, and because it was posted at two different groups, like this is at here, and then here's the thing, and then this is just the thing. So I don't know why they get double posted. But I wanted to go through and look at the likes. I mean, that honestly, as silly as that sounds, I wanted to capture the likes and going through every single picture and then taking the likes and then you can't get the context with a video. So I have to, in order to like really do this, I have to just click through. So I just wanted to get them captured somewhere. It's, I don't know if there is a better way to export this, but the other thing I found is a lot of the exports are not helpful. Like you can't really go back and really see it. So like this video here.
Oh, Francis, why should you not have adult money? Why is having adult money such a bad idea? Let me show you why it's a bad idea.
All right.
Oh, Francis, why should you not have adult money? Why is having adult money such a bad idea?
Can I just take a moment to say how much I hate Facebook? Oh, this video won't stop playing. Let me click in.
Francis.
Wait, what? No, I can't do anything. So let me close it. And if it was already playing, it would continue to play. So you have to go down here to this tiny little button. I know I'm zoomed in slightly, but even if I reset the zoom, the button's tiny. I don't have to like Facebook. Oh, did it find out my plan and it doesn't want to show me the likes? A lot of these you're going to see like are out of they're not within the frame, the framing of the story that we're really looking at. I don't know what's going on. Maybe because it's a video, it doesn't want to show me everything. This is wild. What's going on? Let's see if I can just open a new tab or something. Watch it autoplay. Make me mad. It's auto playing, but it doesn't have sound. Okay, whatever. Like, there we go. I'm not doing the sad, angry ones, laughing ones. I'm going to ignore the laughing ones. I just wanted to capture these. So this is another thing. I actually was really fascinated. I didn't know that this would be, a visible post, but they talked about doing this giant D&D thing where people, different owners or managers or whatever ran a giant D&D session. And so Ben Gorman was wearing that shirt during an interview, and I thought it was pretty cool. And he explained it at the time, but this is the symbol that's on that shirt. So I didn't really expect to see a post about it or to know what time it happened. I didn't know that I would ever find out when it actually took place. This looks like likes and hearts. That's who liked and hearted. This is all, I should explain this. Like I don't like going through people's social media, so I don't really want to show likes and stuff. But you'll notice why it matters in a minute. So there's can be. It looks like they had a few stores that they'll pop up. There's a few stores that were really close together, or not close, but like they talked a lot. It looks like, which is cool. There's nothing negative about that at all. I wanted to see. Yeah, that's everything here. The other thing is adult fans of Lego. That's a brand new term to me, but you're going to see that a lot on this.
All right, it's that time again.
Scared me.
Our shelves are.
I didn't know it was going to autoplay. That scared me, man. I was like, who said that? No, I know. I know who said that. This is one of those videos that's in the Echo Base Network collection of videos. And it's something I want to mention. I know I was talking about video stuff before. One of the things I do know, when you upload a video or a picture, basically it goes to a content server somewhere. And typically what happens is it gets uploaded and then scanned. They have to upload it to scan it. Scanning generally means, is it too big? Is it the right format? That kind of stuff. But they also do like safety scans, like bad content. And there's services out there that handle that. And then, so they host it somewhere temporarily, they do all that, and then they save it out. And when they save it, they associate it with something that controls the security. And security is kind of in quotes at this point. Like, okay, well, only these accounts can view it because we have it saved a certain way. So when we go to serve it, we're going to serve it a certain way. And it'll actually be a new picture every time, and that handles caching and everything. So when you go to a social media site, and what I'm really trying to say is the metadata is different. It's not the same picture. Some of it may be, there's a chance something could be preserved, but it's unlikely. The creation date, the edit dates, those should all be different. So getting originals is really important. And so when I'm talking about like, oh, let's go make sure this is still here. What I really want is what was the text above it and who liked it. That's all I really thought was potentially going to be gone, because I think corporate has access to this. I think I've had concerns of how they share passwords and stuff, or they reset passwords and stuff. So it's possible that somebody has access to this that could delete it at any moment. And I think people are curious and they want to know. And this is a public page. And so even though I don't like to show social media stuff, this is a public page that people are going to be really disappointed if it disappears. So yeah, let me go ahead and play this video.
Are way too full of these amazing pre-built Lego sets. So you're going to get a heck of a good deal. All weekend long, we're going to offer 30%.
I don't think this is actually one that made it onto the Echo Base Network video, because they did ask about pre-built sets last night, and I think Chris, I know it's Crystal Gorman, and I don't normally say that. She goes by Chris, but I'm going to slip up. But I think she said that they only had a couple come in from that collection. So this is probably not related. So this probably didn't make it into
Off
the video.
Any of our pre-built Lego sets. That's right. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 30% off
one of these.
Any of these amazing pre-built sets. We've got some really hard to find, really unique sets out for display. Hopefully we'll see you soon. All right.
So we saw that. Let's see who likes. There's no hearts. Okay. I don't think we get a timestamp on those, so these things can change. So we're not going to see the time of the 2024, July 26, 2024 likes, but we are going to see some of that data. I'm not going through comments. I don't want to go through comments. I actually don't really want the comments that are showing up to show up, but I kind of have to, scroll through. So yeah, there's actually a few here that will be double posted. Some of them related to like closings, because they got like a snowstorm. We'll come across that. Yeah, again, there's some stores that seem to be like in communication, that they were close enough and they seemed to get along pretty well, and they wanted to promote each other. So it's actually it's really cool. Actually, I think it's neat. So we're kind of seeing some things I think have been talked about, but like now we actually get to experience them. So that's actually pretty neat. I guess only one like on it, and there's not a lot of other stuff. I'm ignoring the laughing. Like, why would you laugh at a Mother's Day sale? So I don't think any of this is. This is probably all brand new. Let's see. So we'll see you at the May the 4th. Be with you. So May 4th is Star Wars Day, because May the 4th be with you. It is not Revenge. May 5th is not Revenge of the 5th, because May 5th is Cinco de Mayo. It's the next morning after all the drinking on Cinco de Mayo. That's Revenge of the 5th. It's the hangover. So yeah, there's I don't know how many of these are going to keep popping up, but there's going to be other ones that have come through and liked. I don't see any hearts on this. I would click on all, but it takes a while to go through, and it's a little annoying to try to piece that together. But we know that there's a lot of promotion here. But one of the things that I've learned since the first time I went through all these is that Lego Star Wars is the most popular, so they would attempt to advertise it the most. So that I didn't actually realize that at the time. So I was trying to focus on Lego Star Wars things and try to get all of the likes on Lego Star Wars sets. So there's some hearts. The thing I didn't consider is I don't know how many emojis may have been added or or removed over the past 2 years. So there's potential that some of these emojis, I don't use Facebook, so it's possible that some of these were not reaction types until recently. Anything's possible. Yeah, like I didn't get this one. Rest in. I don't even gonna read it out loud because if I don't get it, I don't know if I'm gonna say something offensive. Yes, those and then some hearts. I think this was Valentine's Day ideas. No, I don't think laughs would be related. Okay, so this. There has been discussion about how they were in a bad area and there's been some break-ins. I actually didn't watch this whole video the first time I went through because I was like, oh, that's right around the time I was like, hey, it would be good if somebody captured this. So I'm going to be watching this for the first time. I didn't fully understand this text here. The break-in on Sunday. I think they were closed on Sundays. I don't remember, but I think they were. Small family-owned operations. Okay, so reward offered for any information that leads to the arrest of these two men that broke into the store 10 a.m. on Sunday, 28th, we believe. They did break in. Okay, that's the thing I didn't quite gather. If they were attempting to break in or if they did break in. This sucks. There was discussion about getting additional cameras because of break-ins. I don't know if this is related. Like, is this the one where they then got additional cameras? This is on a Ring camera. Something that's been discussed is the Ring cameras had audio, but potentially the other CCTV that they would have had. Wow, they really are just smash and grabbing the stuff. That's crazy. This is terrible. This sucks. Anyway, potentially the other CC thing, which is
you are on video being recorded right now. I have your license
rapid
plate
response
information,
security
and the
person
police
seen
are on
breaking
the
glass. We have dispatched the police. Leave the property immediately.
That sucks. This would have been early. Oh Jesus, yeah. And end of January, early 2024. This so the Ring cameras had audio. I guess the CCTV supposedly didn't. Supposedly other people could get into the CC. I guess it wouldn't be closed circuit if that was the case, but the other camera system potentially doesn't record audio. And there's been talk about because of break-ins, they got additional cameras. But this is on the Ring camera, so if the Ring camera was additional, I don't know. I also am a little confused. I guess this is where the awning is, or whatever you would call that, the overhang. This would be in the parking lot. I'm. It feels like a weird angle. I think it's just because the light on the wall makes it hard to reconcile with what we've seen of the store. There's a few more seconds of this. I don't really want to see it. I'm gonna end up. That was awful. Let's see, people liked it. I mean, I could imagine they didn't intend it that way, but potentially valid angries. Like people laugh at it. I don't get it. Let's see. I think they said more. International Lego Day. That's a thing. I'm just now putting it together. Likes, no hearts. Parking. Okay, this is what I was talking about before. So there's actually several posts about something that happened in January 2024 where like they had to close the store because of a storm, snowstorms. So there's several here. Potentially mad could be valid in this one. Yeah, this is another thing. I think this was like double posted. I didn't fully understand that. So that, oh, it's two different messages. Yeah, parking lots, a sheet of ice, closing for the day. I think I'll explain why I'm doing this when I get to it. Everybody, I think some people know what I'm doing, but everybody will figure it out in a moment. I don't know why they would laugh. Even from the standpoint of like, okay, people who are coming back to this and they're angry and they don't know that this page, hasn't been updated since all the bad stuff happened. I don't think, I still don't know why people would click on laugh for any of these. This is a little funny though. Let's see. There's all the likes. There's the hearts. And then potentially angries are valid in this one. Nothing more to see there. That's the 13th through the 18th, I think. 17th. That's a long time. And this is just holiday hours. I don't think angry would be valid for that one. Only angry. Huh. The black. I liked Block Friday. I think that's funny. I have to appreciate the pun. What? Am I interested in this post? Some hearts. So this is where we start to get into the collection photos. So this one is they're resharing a photo. So I'm not going to go into the one that they reshared. Just on this store page here. Some likes, shocks, maybe valid.
All right. It's time.
This one is on
We have it up in our private room.
BN video.
Ready to introduce you to this amazing collection.
BM.
It's a little overwhelming to see in person, and some of this stuff will go fast. We have an amazing assortment of sealed, retired Star Wars sets. We're open today from 10 until 6. We'll be back tomorrow, Sunday, from 11 until 6. I can't wait to see all of you here and show off this amazing collection.
It is crazy to see some
all right.
Like just I couldn't imagine seeing them. Yeah, I don't do collection, but some of these, like even I know, are a big deal. So it's just, I couldn't imagine seeing that in person. They said that it was in this party room first, just for people to see before they were even selling. But there should be a bunch of likes on this one. And something I want to point out is you can see more activity, even from the fact that a lot of the activity could have happened recently. The ones related to the collection get the most activity, and the ones that were not related to the collection or even before this time, because people don't scroll back that far, get less activity. So it was it got people in the store and it got people on their Facebook page. I don't know. I just didn't expect to see it. Okay, so this is the one that matters the most. I'm actually going to click through all of these just so that they're on here. I know this is captured elsewhere, but there are more pictures than the preview will show. And it's really one of those like announcement posts. I won't read through it, but I do want to point out that they do have specific verbiage here about how they are part of a private collection. And that they are, going to be listed or sold or whatever, but they're part of a collection. And you won't see the word consignment. You'll see implied that they're being sold on his behalf. And I think that's an important distinction. That was talked about in the live stream last night. And I think we'll get to this last one here. And I know I say Kaiser, Salem. I say it differently all the time. They are referred to as the Salem store in a lot of different places. And then the Salem Kaiser store, like all over the place is different. And then I think we're back to the beginning. All right, so this is where this matters. We will see something in a moment. So you'll see some names that are pretty common here, but who liked a post, and when did it happen? It's been talked about how this definitely is older than recent, but it's kind of it's a thing that could be lost to time, and so I think just capturing that is important. And then we're going to be done with the stuff around this time pretty soon. And I'm not going to go past it, just when we're past the original thing. Because we're like super early on in the story now, because we're in the November 2023. So we have like the reveal post. So I don't think there's much after this, but this is like an event. And this, my understanding is there was a convention where some of them were sold at a booth, and then there was a reveal at the store. It might have been in a different order, but like that was a thing. So the whole consignment started like, okay, can you sell these? They do a convention, like, oh, you can, let's draft up a thing, and then let's have them as a thing to get people in the room, and then they had to be like inventoried and everything, and then they're ready for sale at a certain point. So like there's this phases before they're actually going on sale. So we're seeing like collection reveal, and 17 people interested, but if we look at some older stuff, like there's less than 17 people involved. Now I think people can still be interested in today. Like I don't trust Facebook to be accurate, but just to go through the likes and the hearts and the I don't know, the angries. We don't worry about the angries and the sads. And then I think actually a couple more things I wanted to comment on. So I think once we get past this Halloween one, I think we're past the collection. There's no more posts about it. But you will see people like posting angry and commenting. There's a lot of people that will be like mad. In fact, that's terrible. I don't even want to acknowledge that comment. This was where I wanted to stop, because I think this is the exact same picture as the top. Let me do this real quick. I really do. I think it's the exact same picture. It looks like it. I'll put it side by side here. They were reusing the same photo. for their Halloween thing. I think it's potentially this was taken at the same time, like photo 1, photo 2, photo, like there's just a bunch of photos at different angles. It's the exact same setup. Let's see. There's all the likes. Oh, there's a lot of likes. Couple hearts. I wonder if Halloween was like a big thing.
So I think it's safe to say we have just a few new in box Star Wars sets. Still in the process of getting them organized and priced, getting them up on the, but they're here and it's a lot. Come on in and see what we have. So
This also, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I didn't think to say this. This is also putting dates to the videos. Now it's not the date and time the video was taken. It's just has to be earlier. Like the old joke. Every photo is when you were younger. If you have a picture of yourself when you're older, I want to see that camera. That old I can't think of his name. Mitch Hedberg joke. This is a picture of me when I was younger. Every picture is you when you were younger. Anyway, let's look at some likes on this one. And then I think maybe the shocked one would be valid, but the angry ones are probably not valid reactions. Yes. So, Rose City Comic Con. I think that's what was mentioned as like the first time they were like testing it out. So if you missed it, we have these amazing retired sets in the store. A whole bunch of. I think a lot of these. How much the brand was specific to numbers. I seem to remember hearing that somewhere. I did notice in one of the videos. Crystal Gorman talks about Ewok Village. There it is. Being and I noticing it. I think it's in a couple of the videos. I think you see the top of it in one of the videos, and then you see it here in this one. So. Okay, that was loud. Likes, hearts. I'm surprised this one didn't get as many likes. Potentially the cries could be valid. I didn't think of that through the other ones because it could be someone wishing they had a particular set. Okay, then this is the Comic-Con ones. I've got some of this here. I think this is just one picture. Yeah, these are other posts. I think it's. How many likes did we get?
All right, well, it's been a very busy day, but as promised, here is a longer video of what we have available.
I'm going to restart this. The first thing I noticed when I saw this particular one, and I think this one was on the EBN video, is I thought that it was said that it was only Star Wars sets at this, but there's other sets. I don't know if those were also in the collection or if they were only Star Wars, but the Beatles one popped out at me. But there's more than just that. So they probably, did bring more, and I'm just inferring something that's not true. But you do see some things in this picture here. So they said at one point that they had they had 2 booth spaces, one for the publishing company and one for the Lego store. And so there is, like, you can see that divider. You can also see, like, here's all the Lego sets, and you can kind of gauge how people would come up to this and be like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to afford that, but can I get a picture with it? Which is something that's been said. So you get like a sense of this starting out. She also mentioned at one point that she only wanted to take a few. I guess that answers that question of course there's going to be more if she only wanted to take a few. But then supposedly when she was like, I'm only going to take this many, and the Mancells were like, no, take as many as you want. Take this and this and this. This would be cool. And so this also kind of corroborates, parts of the story that are kind of intangible. So it gives you some tangibility.
All right, well, it's been a very busy day, but as promised, here is a longer video of what we have available at our booth. We are going to be at booth 536. So if you get a chance and you want to check out some of these hard to find retired sets, we've got brickheads, we've got polybags, we've got the new marble figs, we've got a collection of minifigs. Come by and see.
That part freaked me out. This is just my paranoia, but just to have someone reaching over and grabbing a minifigure, I don't know, that could be Ben Gorman. I don't know who that is, but having someone just reach in, pick one up and look at it would scare the crap out of me, because some of these are super expensive. Like somebody picks up a $500 or $1,000 Lego guy, I would just be worried they'd just run off with it. So this made me nervous. I'm probably just being paranoid, but this part of this video made me nervous. We got some likes and some hearts, and I really doubt the angry is valid.
Good morning, everybody. I am up bright and early because the Salem Kaiser Bricks Minifigs is going to have a booth this weekend at Rose City Comic Con. And before I load up the car, I wanted to give you a sneak peek of something that we are rolling out special for Rose City this weekend. I can confidently say this is, without a doubt, the most amazing Star Wars Lego collection I have ever gotten my hands on. Kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but I'm going to give you a very quick sneak peek, so you're going to want to pause the video to catch some set numbers. I will show you a longer video once we are at the booth and all set up, and give you a little more information about ours and what our booth number is. But here we go. Let's get started. All right, we're going to start. Well, small isn't really the word I would use to describe it, but you get what I mean. So again, this is going to be real quick because they're in boxes, but I wanted to give you just a little peek. Here we go. Here we go. And this one is why I call this the greatest set I have ever seen. Keep in mind, these are brand new in sealed boxes. Good morning, everybody. I am up bright and early because
I was just spending so much time looking at that, I didn't realize all that time had passed. I was just enjoying. Like there's so much I can't remember what I'm looking at when the next one pops up. So I was sitting there thinking about the lightsaber logo, thinking, I don't know. I'm gonna go on a tangent for a second. Okay, so we got in later Star Warses, we got like this, and it was always like this. It was just a bunch of people and faces photoshopped together, and just things and people staring in random directions. And okay, yeah, that's Star Wars, but it's like nothing compared to what we originally got. And even for like you know, VHS and even I don't want to say beta, like for the original art, like it's nothing compared to the original awesome stuff. And so there is one for just one I was thinking of. Uh, yeah, this. Here we go. I mean, there's more of them, but like this, like iconic two hands on a lightsaber, and that, you know, that's remixed all over the place. Like, I just feel like what is going on? I just feel like these were significantly better. And so that icon just grabbed my attention. Sorry. So there's the likes, there's all the hearts. Some sales. Let's click through so they're visible. Oh, there's like one like. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. Like if you go before, you can see that the activity really spiked once they got the play. And I think we're past all the stuff. Reese.
Oh, look at the little baby. And now look at the big baby. Wow.
Okay, so I mentioned how hard it is to pause. I watched this video like 16 times, not 16, but like 4 times, looking for the stupid pause button. And it kept popping open and big baby, little baby, little. I hate Facebook. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't think these are related to the collection. They could be. Probably not.
Oh, look at the little baby.
Double post. It just happens again. This one did have more likes. I don't want to listen to that. And yeah, other likes and shocks. All right. I think we've gone far back enough that that all the stuff that I wanted to capture is captured. Yeah. Ultimately, what I really just wanted to do is I just wanted somewhere where this was I can go back to and say, hey. I mean, with some commentary, but hey, what was on there? What was on this date? What happened? Like what was said in these things? Who hit like? So you know, it's not lost to time. Like, just make this stuff visible so it survives if anything ever happens to an account. So I don't think I did the shock on this one. So just so that that's there. I guess I could have gone through the all. I just didn't want to give more attention to the people who's gone back and graffitied these things, like and looking at the graffiti comments. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be disparaging to the graffiti comments, more so than it makes it difficult to see what actually happened at the time. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that got captured somewhere. I am certain, as always, I'm going to end it here, but I'm certain, as always, that somebody or something big has happened in the amount of time I've been talking. I'm sure there'll be tons and tons of news to talk about tomorrow. But yeah, I really just wanted to be able to do that because I thought that was worth getting and worth capturing. That's actually I mean, I really wanted to do it yesterday. I really did, but could not get to it. But yeah, that's what I've been really looking forward to for the past couple of days. And I look forward to never using Facebook again. Actually, I can look forward to that. So, all right. Thanks everybody for sticking around. One, as always, this story is really cool. It's bringing so many people together. Every chat and every stream has been a party. That's unbelievable to think about, but it is a lot of fun. And if you didn't check it out yet, make sure you hop on the Last Relic stream. It's in the chat there. And yeah, but just stick around. We'll keep going through this as we go. Good night, everybody.